Okay, this is how to use the Covidence, which is a tool that we have through the library and is necessary for doing meta-analyses and systematic reviews. So if you will see that I'm logged in as Taubman Library at Michigan Reviews and that these are listed under there, you should have each gotten an invite to be on one of these papers. If you're not under the Taubman Library, you may have decreased functionality, but you should log in and accept your role. There are now the list of two different reviews I'm working on, the executive functioning and child abuse and neglect, and the educational interventions in child abuse and neglect. So if we click on one, you might not see exactly what I have here, but one thing that you will see, but I have picked eligibility criteria, I have highlighted certain things, and certain reasons for full text exclusion, and then I have imported references. Now you have to import references from a search tool such as PsycInfo. When you click on this, it will ask you to put it into the screener and to pick where it came from. And so I will do that, just put that on Google Drives because I want to make sure it's done correctly. Then you get to the title and abstract screening at this point. So when you click, you can see that I've gone through 76 studies so far and no one else has. When you click continue, you will be given a list of papers. And you have to decide, is this a child abuse and neglect paper, and is it about executive functioning? So for some reason we have the militarism and militarization of domestic violence. I mean, that I think is a no. But you'll see here that it has highlighted in green certain terms like sexual attention, sexual abuse. And then you would read through it and you would say there's hypersexuality, bipolar syndrome in children and adolescents differentiates it from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and that seems like a no. It's not both things. Social context of HIV in Uganda, no. But now we have the role of childhood maltreatment in the development of psychosis and persistent psychotic-like experiences. Here it's coming up with some negative terms like mental health, survey. Emotion I put in there because of not emotional abuse being a problem, but because emotions might be something that we're not really looking for. And so you can read through this, and it says that they did this study and CM was associated with child trauma, with various these psychotic-like experiences, so that's going to be a no. The sexual coercion is an important public health issue. I put public health because I don't want public health papers. I'm not going to read through all of these now. I mean, this one just had nothing useful in it, no terms of any use. This one maybe has attention, but it says apparent neglect of biological protective factors. This probably is not the same use of neglect that I'm looking for. It's just they're using the term neglect more generally. Sibling incest offenders, okay, such people exist, and they have a history of sexual victimization, and they get attention from clinicians, but there's nothing showing that there's doing any attention work. So again, you're going to go through and you're going to say yes, no, or maybe. I was hoping to find one that's more of a yes. Impact of child's cognitive and social difficulties on child abuse. You know, it looks like I don't see a lot that I would say are that are immediate yeses, because in fact most of these are going to be pretty immediate no's. So I'm not going to keep going through because you get the idea. So unless you see both child executive functioning of some kind in child abuse and neglect, then the answer is probably it's a no. So that is one. And then the educational interventions and child abuse and neglect, it's the same thing. Now we only have 223. As you import them, I forgot to mention, this is creating a Prisma figure. I showed you a Prisma figure. So it's telling you that you're getting 155 from PsycInfo, 135 from Eric, and there were 0 duplicates identified manually, 0 duplicates identified by Covidence, which is interesting, that there's no overlap. And the other one, there were lots of duplicates that were removed. And so it'll start to fill this in as we do the work. So I've done 67 of these studies so far, and it's a similar thing. Outcomes in emerging adulthood and for maltreated youth. I would have to read through this more to know if in fact that is a yes. It probably is a no. And this academic achievement despite childhood maltreatment, a longitudinal study, is probably not an intervention, but again, I'd have to read through it a little bit further. This is peer violence, perpetration, and victimization. That's probably a no. And school-based setting for interventions to reduce and prevent peer violence. So that's probably a no. I don't see anything about that would make it a yes, but you know, I'm not going to click a lot of things right now while I'm not reading through it. Here's one where it, for some reason, doesn't even have an abstract, but it's understanding factors that predict referral to special education evaluation for services by school entry for young children with a history of maltreatment. I mean, that sounds kind of interesting, but it's not what we're looking for at all. Sometimes I click on the GOI link because I'm just like, oh, that might be kind of an interesting paper. But I'm not going to do that right now, but that's like a no. And this is effectiveness of school-based interventions to prevent sexual abuse. So again, this is preventing sexual abuse. That's probably a no. But you would read through this and decide whether it's a yes or no. And then you will notice that what it says is that 98 studies have been voted by one person as being a no. And there are no conflicts because nobody else has voted. And there are 222 that have no votes at all. Now, we need to go through all 222 of these studies and get a second vote on all of these, and then when we have some votes on them, we'll be able to decide whether they are definitely being reviewed, and the next step is the full text removed, and the next step is the full text review, and then we will extract information from certain studies. Okay, hopefully that's helpful.